All right, let's try this again. I don't know if it'll work. I'm going to go straight to the charts. I have no idea how long this will be before I get shut down again. Like, I have no idea what happened. Like, I had full internet. Like, I didn't have internet issues. It just ended my stream. I don't know if it was Zoom, if it was YouTube. I have no idea. It's really annoying, though, because now there'll be like 2 videos. I'll need to delete the last one or rename it or something. All right. So, I mean, nothing changed, actually. This is going to be the shortest, most boring outlook ever. Nothing here has changed. The price has not really moved. Oh, Bitcoin just dropped. It was above 30,000 like an hour ago. I don't know what happened. Let me see. The weekly chart still on a consolidating candle. We were rising this morning. Here is the 4-day chart. It's starting to be concerning. We see the moving averages cross over. My line in the sand is still $29,500. We are very close to that line. I don't know what happened this morning. Let's see. If I feel like this candle is going to close below $29,500, I will then reduce my position. But I'm going to give this another day, and we'll figure it out tomorrow or over the weekend. Also, I replied to some discussion on Twitter. This was a really good interview that I did. So if you go to my blog and then you search for Be Libre, or just search for the word Libre, then you get this interview. It's from 2015. I strongly recommend it because there was a discussion like what has changed from then to now. And the answer is nothing has really changed. Like, if you understood Bitcoin in 2015, you understand it equally today as you did then. And my argument was that when you have people like Roger Ver, when you have people like Udi, I mean, these people, they never really understood it. They never understood Bitcoin. They didn't understand the economics of Bitcoin. They didn't understand the game theory of Bitcoin. They didn't understand the decentralization of Bitcoin. Like everything I said in this interview, like I have older interviews. I just don't know how to find them. But this is like the one, this is an old enough interview. I had interviews like a year earlier, but this is an old enough interview where you can listen to it, and it's now 8 years old, and soon it's going to be 10 years old, and soon it's going to, and eventually it'll be 15 years old. And everything I said in this interview applies today equally as much as it applied back then. Like, nothing has changed. If you understood Bitcoin in 2015 properly, nothing has changed. The technology evolved a little bit. We now have the Lightning Network, and the price has gone up. But as far as what it is and what it does and what it stands for and what the future is, nothing has changed. You understood it back then, you understand it today. Financial Summit coming to the UAE. This will be November 5 to 10. Check that out. Unconfiscatable is coming back to Las Vegas, December 7 and 8, with the poker tournament on December 6th. Daily chart, we were doing really well. We were back to the middle of the range early this morning. It was over 30,300, over 30,400. I'm going to look at the short-term chart. I don't know what happened in the last hour, but this must have just happened. Now, we're still in the range, all boring, nothing interesting. Yeah, just happened the last 4 hours. Technically in the last hour, what was the news? I don't know. I was setting up the stream. What happened in the last hour? I don't have a lot of people watching right now because everyone's probably still waiting for the last stream. I don't know, but it's not good. It looks bad. We're on the verge of closing below the prior swing low, where we got rejected right off this moving average on the hourly chart. And this is not good. This looks bad. It looks like it's going down. I'll give it. We can pray and hope that it's not going to happen, but it's probably going to happen. See, this was a low, and we bounced off that low, and we're ready to challenge the highs. All right, I'm going to delete this. This is not really that relevant anymore. Gone. This clutters the chart at this point. Gone. Now that we're back to the same area, not good. See, we made new lows, and we went higher off those lows, but we didn't break the prior swing high, which was here. And by not being able to break the prior swing high, we're now challenging the lows, and it's not good. Broken down all the moving averages on a 4-hour chart. It looks even worse than on the 1-hour chart. Couldn't break the MRI resistance line, couldn't break the moving average. It's not good. It's very, like, I would have been super bullish had I done this like an hour ago, but not now. If I was a short-term trader, like in 20x trade in a trading contest, I'd be out and probably going short. Nasdaq's down. The markets went down. Well, we're gonna find out. GBEC discount is holding steady at 26, and I think we're gonna break 20 sometime this summer, and probably back to 0 by the halving. Oil. Oh, oil. This is good. Let's look at the markets first because they're clearly moving the Bitcoin price. Yeah, but I saw that earlier. I don't think that's it. We are at least not rising like crazy. We're still going to hit an MRI top in the daily S&P and then probably pull back. I still think a pullback down to this blue line at 44.50 is very, very possible for the S&P. This is the Dow Jones. I was looking at it on that stream yesterday that I showed in that other video. Tesla down 7%. Yeah, you got to type it exactly the same. So there's no spaces. So if you type B-Libre, it would show up. Oh, not sure what happened to that dash. Maybe it doesn't recognize it. If you just type Libre, it'll show up, right? So I guess it doesn't recognize the search. So you just got to type the word Libre. It'll show up. You can also like go to 2015. I didn't write much in 2015, so it's there. November 2015. November 2015. There it is. There's good old stuff here. By the way, if you go to March 2014, you're going to find the oldest things. And if you ever go to hike the Grand Canyon, I have a good article on that. This blog, and this is me talking about Ukraine in 2014. So when people say, oh, Tony, just talking about the latest thing. No. I was talking about it in 2014 too. Right there. And almost everything in this article is now gone. It's just gone. Like it doesn't exist. Like all my references, my YouTube videos that explain what the hell was going on, they're all gone. YouTube has deleted them all. All my links, everything's deleted. Yeah, so this blog wasn't initially going to be a Bitcoin blog. Back then it was called Liberty Life Trail. It was going to be just about a bunch of different stuff, including investing and health and fitness and other stuff, geopolitics. It was going to be all that and some Bitcoin, but then I kind of got stuck in only Bitcoin world. Well, I already commented on both, guys. I am still in a 100% allocation, and I am waiting till tomorrow to decide. I need this candle to be below 29.5 with less than half the life of the candle to go. And this candle just started. So I need to be confident this candle is going to close below 29.5, and then I will reduce the allocation. And as for GBTC discount, I'm expecting it to be above 20 this summer, above -20 this summer, and I'm expecting it close to 0 around the halving. Now let's talk about oil. Oil is super interesting. I'm back to a weekly chart of oil. So you see how last week, at the end of last week, oil went up? Now, let's go back 2 weeks. We have the data. The data is out. And I think it's a data error. I think they're going to adjust this. I think this will be adjusted. Somehow, somebody hit the wrong button, and they added 1,000 barrels to the strategic oil reserve. This is literally the first. I think this is the first time this has ever happened in the Biden administration. I think this is a data error, or someone is playing a joke and someone just got fired. I mean, it doesn't exist. Like, I think every number here is negative. This is Trump. Trump bought some oil. See positive numbers there? So here's Biden. Biden starts. Oh, right there. It's not the first time. It's the second time. They're just trolling us. So in Trump's first month in office, someone accidentally bought 1,000 barrels of oil. And it's not even green because it's not like it's a data error, right? Like it's irrelevant. My numbers give it a 0.05% wiggle room. Like these negative numbers also don't register. I mean, they're just irrelevant, right? And then we go all negative numbers. I don't see any positive numbers, certainly no green percentage. Everything's negative. See negative 1,000 barrels right there. This is the current stretch. And we got 1 barrel, 1,000 barrels was added to the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. I said that they're either trolling us or I don't know, something went wrong with the computer. I don't know what this is, but look at the last 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks combined, they only sold 400,000 barrels, and now they bought 1 barrel of oil, 1,000 barrels of oil, which is statistically irrelevant. But look at the price of oil. The last 2 weeks, oil has gotten out of this range. So the moment they stop buying, this is what happens. Now, the last time oil rallied was the last 2 weeks of March, and it topped out early April. So if we go to the data, let's look at the last 2 weeks of March. March of this year. I just want to make sure. Yeah. Last 2 weeks of March of this year. So right here, right? So they stopped buying oil early this year in January completely. And you can see right here, at the end of March, oil started to rise. And the last week of March, they only sold 400,000. And then on the 7th of April, that's when they started selling oil like bandits. So the 7th of April data. So if you go to the price, this right here is the week of April 10th. So this is what scared the shit out of them. It was basically this candle. They thought they could, oil would keep going down, and oil starts to go up drastically, and they have to, bring oil down. So the big downtrend in oil happens from mid-April until they stop buying it in July. So if now you go to the data, so mid-April right here, this is where they start buying it, April 14, selling the shit out of it. And then they sell it heavily. And then in the last couple of weeks, they slowed down the selling of the oil, and the price is now rising back up. So if the price rises, close to 80, they're going to have to massively start selling oil again. But at the same time, they need to keep enough in the strategic oil reserve to sell like bandits next year, because next year is an election year, and you can't have gas prices going to $5-6 a gallon. So they're trying to keep some oil in reserve so they can massively sell it in next year. I cannot see any possible way that there would be more than 250 million barrels in the reserve going into the election. This will be drawn down to an all-time low, basically, since they started keeping track. That's my expectation for what's going to happen here. I mean, I don't really want to talk about Casasious physical Bitcoins. I don't think it's important enough. I don't think enough people care. But they're kind of cool. They help, Bitcoin move to where it is today. They used to have a 4x premium and then a 3x premium, and today they're like a 1.5x premium. And this goes to show you that Bitcoin collectibles over time cannot keep up with the value of Bitcoin. They're cool. I love the Bitcoin trading cards. We're gonna have some special ones that aren't confiscatable, but once a decade passes, the Bitcoin spent would outgrow in collector premium of Bitcoin value than any collectible. Bitcoin is still the best collectible. Eventually, that will change. When one Bitcoin is over $1 million, then collectibles might outpace the value of Bitcoin. But for the next decade or two, sats remain the best collectible, better than NFTs, better than anything else on a long-term basis. A single Satoshi is the best collectible in the world over the next 10 to 20 years. But then after that, it will no longer be the best collectible, and then some cool art and other stuff will be a better collectible. But right now, Bitcoin is the best collectible. And it certainly was in the days of Casasious coins as well. Right? Because you have to pay $4 for a Casasious coin. A Casasious coin, the original price of a Casasious coin was $4 plus shipping. And a Bitcoin was $1. So you can say, oh, I only spent $4 on this Casasious coin. Yes, but you could have bought 4 Bitcoin instead and had them digitally saved. So like I said, for the next decade or two, Satoshis are the best collectibles. One, two, three, right, but you clearly didn't buy the Bitcoin trading cards as collectibles, right? See, here's what people don't understand. I see your comment. I bought a box of Series 1 Bitcoin trading cards for 0.015 Bitcoin, and I'm selling it for 0.25 Bitcoin. Right, but you clearly didn't buy it as a collectible. People don't buy collectibles, sit on them for 2 months and sell them. Like you buy a collectible, you buy a painting, you put it on your wall, and then maybe your kids will sell it in 60, 70 years. That's a collectible. It's not you're missing the whole point of what the definition of a collectible. Clearly, you decided that the speculative value of the Bitcoin trading cards, the box, was more valuable than it is as a collectible, and that's fine. What I'm saying is, if you held on to this box for the next 10 years, you bought this box for 0.015 Bitcoin. I think those boxes are worth $500. By the way, for those that are curious what I'm talking about, it's this. Bitcoin trading cards. Right here. Okay, they're very expensive now. Hold on, let me go grab some. One sec. Yeah, here it is. I went to grab it. Let me turn the camera off. Here it is, right? Here's the box. It's still in its original bubble wrap. So I can sell, this was $500. I can sell it right now for probably $2,000, $3,000. Like, I'm not sure. Like I have no idea what these sell right now on auction. Bought it for 500. I can sell it for like probably 3G right now. But I'm treating it as a collectible because I'm supporting the project. I didn't buy this for $500 to make money on it. I bought it as a collectible, and I guarantee you that in 10 years from now, I'll probably be able to sell it for like 10 or 20,000. But in Bitcoin terms, it's going to be lower. It's going to be lower in Bitcoin terms, not in dollar terms. In dollar terms, it's a collectible, it goes up. But in Bitcoin terms, the 0.015 Bitcoin, 10 years from now, when one Bitcoin is like 500,000, $1 million, that would be worth a lot more. That's a 5,000 plus box. Yeah, right. Like, I can profit 10x on this box right now, convert it into Bitcoin, and make 10x Bitcoin on this box, because I think the price of Bitcoin was about the same. Maybe it was, actually it was lower, right? So Bitcoin, I think, doubled since I bought this box. So if I sell this box for 10x the dollars, I would make 5x the Bitcoin. But I'm not doing that, right? I'm holding on to this. I mean, maybe if the price is right, but Satoshis are still the best collectibles. You buy this because you want this. In the future, that will not be the case. In the future, when a Bitcoin is $1 million, it's not going to go up as fast. So I have a tone card already. The only card I don't have is the Cypherpunks card. I need the Cypherpunk, and I also don't have one of the rare cards, one of the 1 of 21 cards. I have the Greg Foss card, but I don't have the card number 60. So I traded my HAL for this, my second HAL. I had 2 HALs. So the only card I'm missing is the Cypherpunks card, and I don't have an equivalent value card to trade for the Cypherpunks card. I may have to open the box to get it, or maybe someone is going to come to Unconfiscatable and use it as like an entry ticket. I may have to give a VIP ticket now because of how much money these cards are. They're insane. If you go to Scarce City auction, Scarce City, there you go. Yeah, I have this card. Sold for 0.14 Bitcoin, one card. This is the card that I need. I'm not willing to pay 0.175 Bitcoin. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not. And I should sign some cards and then like put them on auction or something. We'll see. I don't know, but I love this project. I love this project. My cards are not even for sale. But this is the card that I'm missing. And one of the super rare cards. I have everything else. Anyway. 9,000 for a box. Really? That's insane. That's insane. So are these all the auctions that are happening? Oh, here we go. Series 1 lot 2 sealed boxes. Yeah, 0.31 Bitcoin. Jesus, it's 10 grand, but that's for 2 boxes. That's insane. Let me see this. 2 sealed boxes, 1 Series 1, and 1 Fudbuster Series 2. Okay. So that's 2 boxes, 1 of each. I have 2 of these, by the way. I just don't have them here. I haven't opened them yet. I did buy 2 of these. It's insane. I bought 2 of these boxes. Let's go back to the charts. Oh, natural gas. We've been bullish on this trade since the breakout. It's looking great. I remain bullish on natural gas. And if natural gas is going up now, Europe is done come winter. They're absolutely done. Hey, thanks for the beard comment. Why would paper go up in value in the future? Because they're collectibles. Again, they're collectibles. You don't know what collectible is going to go up. You just have no idea. Gold, I'm still bullish on off the MRI. Stock market, I'm still bullish on. One last thing I want to mention was I hope you guys watched my stream from yesterday where I did a deep dive into net interest. There's one thing I forgot to mention. I went to the national debt clock for a specific reason, but I didn't actually explain the reason. So there was a really good question. Who do we owe the money to? Who do we owe the $32 trillion to? And do they have guns? Yes, they do, because most of this money is owed to Americans who have guns. And this is not the problem. It's not the 32.5 trillion that's the problem. The problem is down here, and it's over here. I remember when I first talked about this, this was 120 trillion. This is US unfunded liabilities, and now it's $192 trillion. And this, as this scales exponentially and interest rises, this also scales exponentially. This has gone from 120 trillion. Maybe the Fred has this number. Hold on. Fred unfunded. Oh, am I not on screen share? Shit. Yeah, so there wasn't really anything else to say other than natural gas is going up, gold I'm still bullish on, and markets we talked about. So right here on the national debt clock, the problem is not this number. 1 second. Yeah, hold on. All right, sorry guys. So the problem is this number here, the unfunded liabilities number. This is how much money the American government owes to American citizens. And it's a crazy number. It is, look how much bigger it is. Now I should put them like side by side. Look how much bigger it is than the national debt, right? The majority of, like, this is how much money America owes to its own citizens. This is the Medicare costs and like the allocated money that America owes to its own citizens. This is the group with the guns. This is all the firemen and the policemen. And I mean, if JFK, gets rid of the CIA and the FBI, I mean, that's a lot of people. They no longer have to pay. They can fire most of the government employees. This is government pensions. Like I know retired teachers that are making $200,000 a year in retirement. Like this is where the money is going. Like from this, and this is how much America owes, and this is what America doesn't have. Like it's not sitting in some account. This is unfunded liabilities. And this is the problem. It's the same problem, but it's the problem. It's part of the same formula. So we can see how fast that goes up. Fred unfunded liabilities. Fred is the database. Federal liabilities. Maybe this is it. No, that's not it. I don't know there because I wanted to see how this data is aggregating over time. Total public debt. No, see that per working adult. I mean, I want the cumulative number. This is per adult number, which is fine. Right. And it stops in 2018. Like I don't know where the data is. So no. Like they really hide this data. Like I'm sure Fred has it. Fred is the Federal Reserve's database for this kind of data. But I wanted to see how it scales over time. But even if we go back to this chart, see, it was 120 trillion back in 2018. And it's only 5 years later, and it's now 190 trillion. Like this is the exponential scaling. It's the same problem. So this is per person. So per person, it was less than 200,000 per person. And now it's 573,000 per person. You see the insanity, right? Total private sector debt. But yeah, it's in the title. So this number was 120 trillion back in 2018, or this written 2019. Sorry, this article is from 2019. So October. So it was only 120 trillion. And now suddenly it's become 192. It was only 120 at the end of 2019. So now we're, what, 3.5 years later? And Jesus, now it's 192. This is going up like crazy. Crazy. Yeah, Bitcoin's been frustrating. It's been very, very frustrating. It's hanging in there. It's hanging in there at 30. I'm not very optimistic right now for the next week or two. Yeah, absolutely. 1, 2, 3, no scope. Absolutely. Unless there is a way to lower this debt. But if I say it, I can get my channel banned. The way to lower this debt is to have the baby boomers disappear like Thanos, like that. You know, like snap your fingers and like half the population's gone. But that half the population would need to be over the age of 65. That's the majority of where this is. You know, so yeah, it's selective, right? It doesn't scale. Like a young person owes this money, but he's not owed this money. But it's the old people that are only collecting out of this pool because they're not working anymore, right? They're retired. They're collecting government benefits. That's this money. Unfunded liabilities. It's the liability of the government and what the government owes. This is why the government always hates war veterans, because war veterans are usually have a lot of issues, either mental issues or physical issues, because they got wounded in war. And that's why the government like is always keen to eliminate old veterans. Like old veterans is a huge problem. Like there was a story during World War II that like Germany was doing super well and they were winning, and the plan was don't kill them, wound them, because then there will be a like if we lose the war to Germany in Europe, then maybe in 20, 30 years Germany will collapse because of unfunded liabilities. If we don't kill people in war, if we wound them, then they are a burden to the state for the rest of their life. What they didn't realize is Germany had, you know, if you watch the show Man in a High Castle, basically, if you have some kind of a, you know, disease and the state has to now spend money and take care of you for the rest of your life, they would euthanize you basically, so that you're not a burden to the state. So there is like I said, there are ways to lower this, but it involves eugenics. Otherwise, it's going to go up and up and up because people are living longer and longer and longer. That's why they want to push the retirement age higher and higher and higher. And also pensions and benefits, and teachers making $200,000 a year in retirement, policemen making $200,000 a year in retirement, and those numbers scale with inflation as well. So here's how it works: if you are a government employee, like a fireman or a policeman, for those that don't know how it works in America. So let's say you have worked for 20 years as a cop. Maybe they raised that. And in your second to last year, so this is your first year on the job as a policeman, and you're making $40,000. And here's your, then you worked a bunch of years, assuming they make $40,000. Maybe in New York they do. You know, it depends. I'm just going to say 40,000. Then this is your 19th year on the job, and your salary after 19 years has gone up to say $110,000. after 19 years of employment. So today you're making 110,000 this year. Here comes your last year, your 20th year, right? And your real salary went up by, I don't know, $5,000. Let's say you got a nice promotion and there was inflation, went up, right? But then here's what happens. This year in a job like police, right? You get paid overtime, time and a half when you work on additional days. So in your last, 10 years, you've saved a bunch of vacation days. And so in this year, this is your salary. But then what you did was you decided to have, I'm going to put it here, unused vacation days. Unused vacation days. You didn't take a vacation in your last 3 years of working. Unused vacation. I don't know how to fit that in there. Crap. Let me do this. X. There. Unused vacation gives you an additional $10,000 in salary. Oh, man. All these days, right? And then you worked a bunch of overtime. And that gave you an additional 10,000 in salary. Actually, it's more than that, right? You stack this. Like unused vacation days for like the last 5 years might have been $25,000 extra in your last year. And then your overtime, you work like a dog, basically, like that last year. And you made an additional, say, 20 grand. So now in your last year of working, your total salary was, oops, too much. In your last year of working, your total salary became 160,000. Yes. Why is it 270 again? Jesus. And therefore, this salary has become your retirement salary. So those that are really, really smart, those that really know how to work the system, they find a way to make close to $200,000 in their final year of working. And then that final salary of their final year becomes their retirement salary. Like, I don't know if the government still allows people to do this, but let's say a decade ago, this is what people did. This is what people did like a decade ago. Maybe the government got smarter and they put a stop to this practice. But this is why I know people that did this. I know people that close to doubled their salary in their final year of working before they got to retire, and that final salary became their retirement salary. Like, I know people that did this. It was specifically a loophole for certain government professions. All right, guys, that is it for me. Thank you all for watching. I don't have much else to say. PM, that is correct. I am specifically talking about police in places like New York. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, I'm not saying it's all government jobs. I'm just saying it's certain government jobs. Stony Curtis, I'm not surprised that that is the case. So that is interesting. So after you pull this off and retire, and you're getting that unreasonably high pension, you can then come back to work. Yeah. Though if you come back to work, you're actually helping reduce this number. You're not helping to increase it, right? So if you're working, you are paying into this number. If you retire and don't come back, then you're only collecting from this number. But yes, you can make more money for yourself, but the other half of the money that you're making, you are paying taxes that help reduce this. Yeah, PM. So they might have fixed it, but this was going on for decades, and these people are still collecting ridiculous money. They fixed it going forward. So future people can't do that. But the people that did do it are now collecting hundreds of thousands of dollars in retirement, and they can still, work and make more money, right? So I agree with you that they probably fixed this, because otherwise United States might be collapsing already. Is the price plummeting? I don't see it plummeting. I have no idea if Ripple case is going to be overturned. I really have no idea. I hope it is, but probably not. The craziest part about those tier 2 retirees was they never had to contribute to their own pensions. The never tiers have to pay. Yeah, right. Like that's what I'm saying, right? This is how this ended up out of control. This is how this number ended up out of control. These people never paid into their pensions, and then they stacked it in their last year, and now they're collecting an ungodly salary, like a Wall Street salary in retirement, and they got to retire at like 40, 45 years old, and they're going to be collecting the salary for like the next 40 years. They can collect more. They can collect their salary longer than the point they've been alive, like at the time they started collecting it. This is why they had to change it, because otherwise the United States could have already collapsed. In Brazil, your retirement is based on a percentage of your salary your entire career, but you have to pay that percentage during all the. Well, that's how Social Security works, technically, right? If you made more money and you paid more into Social Security, you get more money in retirement. But this is the thing. This is the mob with the guns that's gonna be very angry when the government check bounces. Right. I did grow up in New York. I'm just saying, these are the kinds of, this is the kind of stupidity that contributed greatly to this ridiculous amount. That's just one example. There's others. Okay, market is not crashing. I'm going to sign off. Thank you all for watching, guys, and see you all on the next one. Natural gas is ripping. Again, not surprised. We discussed this. I have my arrow right there. This is so bad for Europe. They have no idea. They have no idea. And that's because, the government of Europe treats them like worker ants. Like they don't make decisions. The Europeans do not get to make decisions. Klaus Schwab gets to make all the decisions for every European citizen living in Europe. Klaus Schwab makes all your decisions. He's like the queen bee of the beehive. He gets to make every single decision in your life. It's Klaus Schwab. Bye, guys.